everybody. This is our session on FaciliLEARN about the Child Safe Organisations PD. It's slightly different to other FaciliLEARNs that have happened earlier this year. And mainly because when we get to the PD session is actually a narrated session and it guides you through everything that you need to go through. So we'll sort of get to that point. I'll show you how you get to that point. And then what I'll do is I'll sort of jump to the end. I've got a PowerPoint, my PowerPoint presentation shows you the end screen, and then I'll talk to you how you get through your your certificate at the end, and how you then email that through to FaciliLEARN, as Craig said at the start. Then what I'll do is basically, we'll get everybody to that starting page, and then you can go through that essentially on your own because it's guided through the narration in the package. It's like a little video package. It'll take about 20 minutes. I'll stay online. If there's any queries or questions at the end and you need any help when you've finished, by all means, just drop back in the group, or just put your hand up in the group, and we'll go from there. If you've got any questions as we're going through it as well, just bob your hand up, or just take yourself off mute and give me a hoy. So we're going to start with a couple of objectives. So basically, we're here to get into FaciliLEARN. We're going to register with the Australian Human Rights Commission. And we're going to complete the Child Safe Organisations intro session, which should take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to actually do the PD, depending on how quickly you go through the session. And then at the end, we're going to be able to send our certificates to FaciliLEARN for completion. So what I need everybody to do first, and I'm just going to share my other window while we are here. So can everybody see my internet page now with the Centranet on? Yeah, a couple of thumbs up there. Thank you, Anne-Marie. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down on the Centranet page, and on the right hand side, we're going to go right down to the FaciliLEARN tab. So we're going to, everybody click on the FaciliLEARN tab. Hopefully if you're already there, brilliant. If not, that's how I get through to FaciliLEARN anyway. It then brings you to the FaciliLEARN dashboard. What may well come up is any PDs any PDs that you still need to do. Because I've sort of completed all mine, I'm going to click over here. So what you might find is find that. Yes, Lisa. You had a question, Lisa?
Is that good?
You didn't have a question. Good work. Cheers, Lisa. So if you may well see your list of PDs on this part of the screen here, and it might have the Child Safe Organisations PD there. If you've got that link, just click on that link there. If you can't find it, go to My Learning over on the left-hand side of the page. Click on Training. And hopefully what it should do, it should give up a list of training that you're expected to do. And then your Child Safe Organisation training should just come here at the bottom. I've already done that training, and I thought it would deregistered me. So I thought that I'd be able to click through and go through this with you. But I've got some screenshots on my PowerPoint, so I'll sort of nip back to that. But if you're at this page here, click on that. Is everybody on that page? Is everybody good to go from there? Yep, no reactions. Cheers, Megan. Thank you. If I ask a question and you're good to go, just put a bit of a reaction up, a bit of a thumbs up for me, just so I can know that you're there and know that you're following along. So I'm just going to flip back to my PowerPoint because I thought this might happen, and as every educator knows, you can't really rely on technology, so you have to have a backup plan. So my backup plan is this. So basically these PowerPoint pages show where the page that I was just online. So this is, if you can see that little on the PowerPoint there, the Child Safe Organisations link, click on that link and it should take you then through to a page that shows the sort of FaciliLEARN login page. So what we need to do at the bottom of that, you should be able to scroll down to the bottom and then click on register. Is everybody okay with that? I was hoping to be able to show you that yesterday, today, but it seems that I've not been deregistered yet because I actually went through the PD yesterday. Jenny, you've got a question?
Yeah, just got to be careful. I couldn't get through because because of the pop-up. So you've got to go up onto your browser and just enable your pop-ups. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, you can't get through.
Yeah, righto. Okay. Well, yeah. There you go. Enable your pop-ups. I didn't have that issue at work yesterday. So it may be something that you've got on your browser at home. Maybe if you're doing this from home. Yeah, it should be good enough to take you through. So when you get to the page on FaciliLEARN, there should be a page where it's got some information about the intro to the topic, and then right down the bottom there's a register button, and you should be able to click on that. Can you has everybody done that and registered? Yeah, I've got a few thumbs up. Good work. So what you need to do, and I was hoping to be able to talk you through this bit, but I can't do because I'm just going to go back to see if I can find it anywhere. Let me see if I can redo it. Hang on, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Right, okay, here we go. So you get to your let me see if it'll let me go back in there. Just hang on 1 second, but teething problems here. Yes, so let me go back to sharing my screen. Best laid plans and all that. So you should come up with this this page here. You should be at the top here, and it should just click on if you click on start course, it takes you to the introduction of the course. Is everybody at that stage now? So you should see this page here, the introduction, and it goes through some information for you. It talks about when you complete the PD that you're going to send it to FaciliLEARN. Just click on continue there. It'll take you to the next part of the module. And this is all information stuff. So essentially what it's saying here, it's just saying that we're going to be going into the about the PD, about the National Principles for Child Safe Organisations that is run through the Australian Human Rights Commission. So when we get to the modules bit, we'll sort of move on to, we'll see this page in a second. So at the bottom here, you click on Access Child Safe Organisation courses, click registration. And it should take you through to this page. Now what we need to have a look at, now if you've already logged in, that's fine. But if you might need to create a new account. So if you click on, excuse me, create a new account, it'll take you through to the privacy statements and the terms and conditions. Have a read through those, make sure you're okay with that. And if you click continue, that will go through to the next one, the purchase and refund policy. Well, we've not purchased it because it's a free course. So we're going to agree with that. Click yes. And then the terms of use, we're going to click yes for that and continue through that. And then what it brings up for you, it brings up the registration page. So what we need to do now is we need to type in your email address. And I used the TAFE email address. So ben.puzzar@crtafe.wa.edu.au. And then I chose a password, which was at least 12 digits long. Has anyone got any questions so far? No, I can't see any questions yet. Just trying to have a look on the. And then obviously you're filling out your names and you know, your name and your surname, your country where you're from. So we're from Australia. And if you have a look at some of the fields, they've got stars next to them, so they're the required fields. So we don't need to put in Australia. I didn't put in my mobile phone. I put in my organization as Central Regional TAFE. And obviously we're from WA, and the area where we live is regional. Well, that's where I'm from. Obviously, you might be in some other area. And then you've got to click the box at the bottom there that says I'm not a robot, because the robots are coming for us. And then create new account. Just going to log into my password manager. Okay, I'm good to go. Okay, is everybody good with the registration part of things? Everyone's created their account? Have a thumbs up if you've done that, please. Cheers, Megan. Cheers, Tume. Suzanne, thank you. Anne-Marie, brilliant. Some of you may well have gone ahead of me on this, and that's absolutely fine. So when we go back to your, just going to nip back to my PowerPoint. So when we go back to the page, it should say we have registered with the AHRC, and click continue. Once you click continue, it'll ask you to log in again. So we're going to log in again, or log in with your new credentials. So I'll just nip back to the web page to talk you through that a little bit. When you get to your login page, it asks you to log in or create a new account. Well, we've created a new account. We're not the staff of the Australian Human Rights Commission, so we click on all other users, and my information's already in there because I've already done this PD. So, and then you can put your email address and the password that you just put in to register, and click login. Invalid login. Great. And it might not let me because they probably deregistered. So they deregistered me here, but not on FaciliLEARN. There you go. So did anybody have any issues with registering, or is everybody good to go? Shout out if you're good to go, and we can move on once I've registered. Back to the home page. I've got my email. I'm going to log in now. I've got to confirm your login. So you might have to go back to your emails and confirm your login. And if you to do that, you essentially just go to your email and you click on the link in your email. And it comes up with that screen that we talked about before. I'm just going to get rid of some of these notifications. I'm going to click on continue. Now I'm going to log back in. All right, we're there. Right, is everybody on this screen then? Is everybody able to see the screen that I'm sharing now, the login screen? Yeah, good, couple of people there with the hand, with the some thumbs up. Right, so what we need to do now is we need to find the PD. So if you click on this Find Learning button tab here, click in there. And then in the search box, I'm just going to type in child safe. And click search, and it brings up the PD that we need to do, which is the free of charge introduction to the national principles for child safe organizations. We're going to add that to our cart, and what that does then, it brings up this little box here. It says we've selected it, pricing is free of charge, and I'm just going to click enroll. And what that will do is that will link it to your profile. So when we go up here in My Learning, so we're now going to click on My Learning, and we want to find the record of learning. So click on that. Then what it brings us to is our record of learning. And then what it brings us to at the bottom here, you can see, you should see your name and your organization name. And then it should be a link to the PD. So if you click on that link, it will bring you to this page, and stop me if I'm going too fast or I'm going, you know, if you've lost me already, please let me know. So when we get to this page, what it's asking us to do, we need to provide some further information, and this is just about them getting some demographic information. So we click on the, sorry, I'll just go back again while I'm talking through. Click on the link. And we just got to include some of this information. So what is your role in the organization? And it's about the nearest fit for that, or for your organization. You could put in, if your role doesn't fit in there, like I'm going to put in principal lecturer. What type of organization do you work for? Well, we work for an education organization. How many people work for your organization? Well, I would say probably, I don't know, probably more than 200, I would say. How many people volunteer? Couldn't say, but I'm going to go 30 to 50. I don't know the exact numbers there in terms of volunteers. But in terms of what age group does your organization work with? Well, we have 15-year-olds and we have 16 to 17-year-olds. So they're our usual cohort for this sort of age, when we're talking about working with children under 18. We don't have the lower years, but we have these 2 years. So that's the 2 we click. Click on Save Changes. And then what that does is that then opens up the link for the e-learning course. And to go into the e-learning course, just click on that link there, which is really simple. What that will do is that will actually open a pop-up like this. And I'm just going to, can you see that pop-up there or not? Can you see this pop-up? What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my pop-up window. So you should see a window pop up that has something like this. Can everybody see that on their screen? Yep. Okay. So this is the part really when I'm, you know, I don't really need to talk you through this PD because it lets you go through that and work through that at your own pace. You've got to listen to the information in there because it is audio as well. So essentially you can just work through that at your own pace. So that should take you about 20 minutes. So this is that point where I said that we're going to sort of go right to the end of that, and I'll talk through the process of grabbing your certificate from this PD. So I'm going to jump back to my PowerPoint, and I'm sorry there's a bit of jumping to and fro in this. Hopefully it's fairly seamless from your end. So these slides we've gone through, we've logged in, we've found the PD, we've registered into the PD, and we can see the start page now. So when you get to the end of your PD, you will see this slide, which is the conclusion side and the summary side. Once you've finished, click on the, and I'll put this this PowerPoint in the chat so you can refer back to it when you get to the end. Click on the exit button. Then it'll take you back to the page that we were on at the beginning where we clicked on to go into the PD. Once you've finished, the actual link to your certificate will open up, and you just click on your access your certificate. What that'll do is it'll open another pop-up in PDF, and just click on your the three dots to download your certificate. And once you've downloaded it, you then clicking on, you go back in your tabs, and I'll show you that in a second. In your tabs, you should still have your FaciliLEARN tab open. Go back to that, and you're just sending it to that email address. Okay. When you've sent it to that email address, you've attached it to an email. That's all in the PowerPoint as well. Then you need to go back to this tab, and you need to click on Start Quiz. And you're just typing in, when you click on Start Quiz, there's only one thing you can do, and that's type in, yes, you've completed it and you've sent it to FaciliLEARN. That will then be registered as you completing this PD. So has anybody got any questions on that? I'm going to upload the PowerPoint to the chat so you can refer back to that once you've finished. I'll stay online as well to answer any questions. But has anybody got any questions before we start? Or before we sort of just let you sort of get on with the PD? No? Brilliant. I think that's got to be the first PD that I've not had any questions on. So congratulations to you guys. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you want to, hopefully you're already working through the module. It should take you about 20 minutes-ish. I'll stay online. I know we've only put on that we're going to be here till 9 o'clock. I'll stay online till about 9:15. If there are any issues with getting your certificate back to the FaciliLEARN guys in HR so that you can get that registered. But yeah, the PD is fairly well narrated, and I'll shut up now, and I'll let you guys get on there. But I'll just add that the PowerPoint to the chat so that everybody's got access to that. So if you see that, I've just bobbed that into the chat for you. And like I say, cheers, Emma. The PD itself is really simple to work through. It's really informative too about the origins of child safe organizations and what the role is of and the purpose of what they do. It's a really good PD. But the important part is saving your certificate and then making sure it goes into FaciliLEARN. And then for those of you who are lecturing staff, make sure you add that to your TACM and upload the certificate to your TACM so that we can use it in the future when we need to develop your TACM. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Appreciate your time. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Louise. I'm just going to work through mine as we go. So I need to do it again.
This program is aimed at people like you and Matt here, who are involved with organisations that work with children and young people. Matt's a leader for a recreational group that runs outdoor activities for primary school children. Endorsed by Australian governments, the national principles are an important part of your organisation's journey to building child-safe cultures and environments for children. Here are the learning objectives. At the end of this module, you will understand the 10 national principles, including why they were developed, and know how you can use a children's rights approach and the national principles to build a child-safe organisation. The national principles will be a pivotal guide to your work and a national benchmark for building and maintaining child-safe cultures.
Hi, it's me, Padma. I'm going to be asking you some questions to see if you're listening. First up, how prepared do you think your organisation currently is placed to ensure it is a child-safe environment?
Select the poster to find out more about child safety in the recent past. In the past, many organisations working with children and young people failed to listen to them, believe them and keep them safe. The Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse shone a spotlight on child sexual abuse which took place in a wide range of organisations and sectors. This included out-of-home care, early childhood and education, health services, recreation, sports and clubs, arts and culture, defence forces, religious services and disability services. In many cases, they found organisations had cultures and practices that allowed abuse to occur and failed to respond appropriately when abuse was disclosed or reported. The Royal Commission identified 10 child-safe standards for how organisations could be safer places for children. The national principles are built on the Royal Commission's 10 child-safe standards. There has been overwhelming support for a national approach to child-safe organisations. Commissioned by the Australian Government, the National Children's Commissioner led the development of the national principles for child-safe organisations. The national principles have a broader scope beyond sexual abuse to cover other forms of harm, such as physical and emotional harm, including bullying and cyberbullying, accidental injury, neglect and exposure to family violence. Working with the Australian Government, the National Children's Commissioner consulted with state and territory governments in the development of the national principles. All Australian governments have now endorsed them. The national principles are underpinned by the rights and guiding principles of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. These recognise that children have the same human rights as adults, while also needing special protection due to their age and vulnerabilities. This rights-based approach is central to the development of the national principles. Select Padma's photo to learn more about the rights of children.
We have the right to be safe and not harmed by anyone. Be treated fairly no matter what. Have a say about decisions affecting us. Adults should listen and take us seriously. Have our best interests put front and centre, and have the responsibilities of our parents and carers respected. Now try this question. The national principles are based on and are underpinned by which of the following?
Select the 4 icons to learn more about the national principles and how they may affect Matt's organisation. Everyone has a part to play in keeping our children and young people safe and well. The national principles are here to guide any organisation that works with children and young people. Many sectors and organisations are already subject to child-safe requirements at national, state and territory levels. These can differ from state to state. Having a child-safe culture within your organisation is more than just making sure you have the right policies and procedures in place, or making sure staff and volunteers do a certain type of training. Child-safe organisations must consciously and systematically create the following conditions. Select the images to learn more. Is this statement true or false? When considering the national principles, the only group you need to consider is staff and volunteers who work with children. The 10 national principles are high level and relate to each other. Each principle outlines what organisations should put in place to ensure a child-safe culture and environment. The national principles cover 3 broad areas: organisational culture, processes and environment. Let's look at each area in turn. The first 4 national principles are about getting the culture right. This involves leaders of organisations, staff and volunteers, children and young people, families and the community. Select each principle to learn more.
Principle 1. Committed leadership, governance and culture. Principle 2. Children and young people are safe, informed and actively participate in the organisation. Principle 3. Families and communities involved in safety settings. Principle 4. Equity is upheld and diversity respected.
The next 3 national principles focus on the organisation's processes for recruiting, training and supporting staff, handling concerns, complaints and incidents, and ongoing education and training. Select each principle to
Principle 5. Robust recruitment and screening.
learn more.
Principle 6. Effective complaints management. Principle 7. Ongoing education and training.
And the final 3 national principles are about the environment an organisation operates within and ensuring accountability and transparency, such as promoting safety in both physical and online environments, continual review and improvement, and documenting policies and procedures. Select
Principle 8. Safe physical and online environments.
each principle to learn
Principle 9. Regular improvement.
more.
Principle 10. Child safety and well-being policies and procedures.
You have just reviewed an overview of each of the national principles. For the full text of the national principles, please refer to the Resources tab in this module.
Is this statement true or false? Some national principles are more important than others.
Building child-safe cultures and environments means going on a journey, and this involves making a start, talking about safety and well-being, understanding where you are at, planning and implementing, evaluating and monitoring, reviewing, refreshing and going again. In this module, we're looking at making a start. As you either start or continue your child-safe journey, It's important to remember that building child-safe cultures and environments cannot be carried out in a single task or by one person. Being a child-safe organisation is about committing to the journey, staying on the journey, and engaging others in that journey. There are 3 initial steps you can follow in building a child-safe organisation. Select each of these steps to learn more. Firstly, think of some key people who can work together to ensure you all commit to child safety and well-being. An important next step after this module is to learn more about the national principles. A full description of each national principle is given in the National Principles document, together with key action areas and indicators that can guide your organisation. One way to reflect on where your organisation is at on this journey is to use the CSO Introductory Self-Assessment tool. Once you and others who are involved in building child-safe cultures and environments have become familiar with the national principles, identify what you currently have in place so you can see what you need to review or develop. This table will help you in your information gathering. It lists what to look for, do we have it, where to find it, and who to ask if I don't know if we have it or where to find it. At first, this may seem like a lot to do, but it is achievable. And it begins with one step. And remember, it's an important journey. The safety and well-being of all our children and young people depend on it. Before you finish this module, here's a quick quiz to help you reflect on what we have covered. Thank you for your time and commitment to building child-safe cultures and environments, and your interest in the national principles. Risk from harm can be reduced. We owe it to our children and young people to do everything we can to ensure their safety and well-being, and to respond effectively when needed. Here are some ways you can find out more about the national principles and the Child Safe Organisations project.
All right, I've stopped sharing there. I've gone through my PD. I think that was about the 4th time I've been through it. But we've got it now on the recording. So if there's any questions left from anybody left in the room, now's your chance to put your hand up. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like we're all there. Just going to stop the recording.